Folks, welcome to Metal Wani and Metal Nation Radio. With us, we have Nick Holmes of Paradise Lost and Bloodbath. How are you doing, sir?
How are you doing? Yes, good evening.
With just few weeks left for the release of your highly anticipated album, The Plague Within, how excited is the band right now, keeping in mind that this album is being, fans have been totally waiting for it?
We're really excited. I mean, obviously, it's now you can go on social media and you can see that people are really digging the songs that we've released, and we never really had that before. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of building quite nicely, and everyone seems to like the songs that they've heard so far.
That's awesome. Now, you also released a single, No Hope in Sight, and last night you released the music video, Beneath Broken Earth. So you must have come across, some feedback from your fans about these two tracks.
Yeah, I mean, the songs, there's quite a lot of variation on the album. There's some of the songs are very unique. There's no other songs like them on the album. Beneath Broken Earth is one of those. It's very much on its own, So it's kind of cool because nobody can pin the album down to one style because there's quite a bit of variety on it. So it's interesting to see the comments, coming in from the different styles that people are hearing. But so far, it's been like I said, it's been very positive. So we're really happy about that.
Awesome. Now, I had an honor of listening to the album, and I gotta say that this has gotta be the most diverse Paradise Lost album till date. I feel it's like all eras of Paradise Lost wrapped into this one album.
I guess we don't really look into the past too much. I mean, obviously, everything you've done will influence you somewhere down the line. So we always like to move forward, but we don't like, I guess we were trying to think of the time when we were probably at our most happiest,
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably when we were teenagers, So there's definite slabs of music from that era when we were teenagers listening to, the extreme metal music for the first time. But I mean, obviously we don't forget what's happened over the last 20 years either. So yeah, it's about moving forward, but I don't think it hurts to step into the past occasionally, So and we definitely do that, There's definitely nostalgic elements in the album, that people are going to pick up on, I think.
Right. So is it safe to say that this album has kept the past, present, and the future of the band in mind?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, if we are copying anyone, we're copying ourselves. So it's better than copying another band, I guess. So, so we are guilty of that at times, perhaps.
That's really cool. Now, right from the death metal elements to gothic to classic rock, this album has got everything for fans. In fact, while going through some of the comments on these, videos recently, I found out that a lot of new fans, you guys discovered a lot of new fans who came across your music for the first time. So this definitely shows that Paradise Lost do not compromise with the older fans, but again, new fans are happy, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant when you can. It's always great to get new fans, and if they're young as well, that's fantastic. Like I said, we've got to the point where we do concerts and people are bringing their kids with them. Who are like 15, 16 years old, and then they might bring their kids if we're still alive. So it's brilliant. So yeah, I mean, obviously, the more new fans, the better. There's no negative about that.
That's true. Now, talking about experimentation, you guys have gone back to your roots, but yet you've maintained that balance to try out something new. So even after 2 decades, the inspiration to write something new still reflects in your music.
We never, because we've never stopped doing it. We're always constantly trying to better ourselves, and every album you do, you want it to be your best album, and it's kind of for everyone else to decide ultimately, I guess, but you still try your best every single album, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we've still got a real passion for the music. We've never stopped loving music. We've certainly changed the style of it. We kind of went off metal for a long time, then we kind of got back into it again. But everything's kind of happened over a long period of time. It's not like we've done anything overnight, So it's we've done the band for a lifetime, basically. So. And I also think everything goes around in circles as well. I think fashions and music fashions and metal fashions, they go around in circles. They come back around again.
Absolutely. Now,
so,
Flesh from Bone is probably your fastest song when it comes to tempo. And then again, Beneath Broken Earth is possibly the slowest. And I came across an information that it took you guys 15 versions to come up with An Eternity of Lives.
Probably. I mean, each song usually has lots and lots of different versions, and they're very close. But we're very, very picky with the end result, and sometimes it just isn't right, and it takes us a long time. Even if the song is simple, it's for some reason it just doesn't gel right. So we're very, very meticulous with the songwriting. But it's we are definitely our own worst critics for sure. When people pick our songs apart, we already know what they're going to say. So it's like we are pretty on the ball with that. So I mean, Flesh from Bone is. I mean, I think it's the verse. It's the fastest verse we've ever done for sure, So, I mean, why not,
Absolutely. Now, the term Plague Within, I assume, reflects the plague created by human beings when we talk about religion, life, or death. Now, your own, the lyrics, the death metal lyrics have always been dramatic and aggressive. So, even when you keep your 2-decade-long journey in mind, you still manage to strike a chord with your fans when it comes to lyrics.
I mean, the lyrics for me are very personal. I mean, I go into a little place, I go into a little room, and I write them, and they are written for the songs. They're never to be taken away from the song. They're written for the music. They're part of the texture of the music, and it's how the music makes me feel at the time they're written. So it's always, I never really write about specific. I mean, I write about religion a lot, or perhaps my lack of faith in religion. But I'd never like to be pinned down too much, because I mean, I just write about, the experience of life from the different times from being an 18-year-old teenager to being what I am now.
Right.
So, I just write about how I look at life through the years, and usually the darker side of things, but I mean, that's what the music's about to me,
Awesome. Now, looking at the artwork, what does it reflect? I mean, when you look at the creative vision of the band on the Plague Within, what does the artwork reflect? And I have to give hats off to Zebuk for that amazing artwork. He did the same with the Mayhem's new album, and now with Paradise Lost. Amazing one.
Yeah, it's really got to be looked at a high resolution to really appreciate it. It looks, but yeah, it's basically the tormented Sisyphus. He's pushing his burden back. He's slippery walls of a long frozen illusion. That's a soundbite I have for what the visuals actually are on this album.
That's right. Now let's talk about your amazing vocals. I mean, Bloodbath new album, I was blown away. I mean, phenomenal vocals by you, and that took a lot of fans by surprise when that actually raised a bar in Bloodbath when it comes to music. And now with Plague Within, your vocals, there's the dark, that epic, that ambient vibe on your vocals, and it sounds even more haunting. So was there a plan to have all these styles on this album?
Yeah, we decided a while ago. We re-recorded some old songs. We did Gothic and Our Saviour, and I did the death metal singing on those songs. And we kind of decided then, why not we bring this into the new material? Because again, it adds another texture to it. But I didn't want to do it so it was just purely over the heavy stuff, and the clean voice was over the clean stuff. I wanted to just kind of swap it around, so there was I didn't want it to sound like there was two singers. I wanted to sound like one guy, but doing different styles. So so that was kind of important from the offset. But I mean, I do think singing the Bloodbath album really kind of primed me to do it and really got me into finding the death metal voice again.
Right.
But I mean, it is very different to Paradise Lost, and for sure. But it's really cool to juggle both things. I really kind of enjoy doing that. So
that's awesome. Now, Nick, when you look back at the past, when you look back at the late 80s and the early 90s, when Paradise Lost, Anathema, and My Dying Bride combined the sound of the mid 80s Celtic Frost and Candlemas, and then you guys use the keyboards and the vocals. So how do you think, when you look back at your career, how do you think that has been an influence on so many bands like Lacuna Coil, or even a band, there have been many other bands. How do you feel about that?
I think, it's the time when you're from being like maybe 15 to 25 years old, the music you were experiencing at that time in your life is probably the music that's going to be with you all your life. You know, those years when we started them, and our peers and other bands were starting out, and you know, death metal was in its infancy, and it was an exciting force to be reckoned with. You know, it was a new thing, and it's still, I have such great memories of those days. You know, and the bands that we liked then and the bands we still like now, we still like all that stuff. It's still, you know, incredibly nostalgic and fun to listen to it. You know, when we've maybe had a few beers or whatever. So yeah, I think your teenage years that is the kind of soundtrack to your lives, really. And for us, it's never really gone away. We still love Celtic Frost as much today. You know, so it's pretty powerful stuff.
That's absolutely true. Now, towards the end of the 90s, I mean, you guys embraced to a more palatable direction, keeping, you know, the musical direction in mind. So do you think this death doom genre has come to an end, or bands like Lacuna Coil or The Gathering are carrying forward the torch, which you guys started way back in 90s?
I don't know. I mean, things, I mean, like Gothic metal, I mean, you know, what we originally called Gothic metal has just changed where it is completely now. I think things, they don't go away. It's just like I said earlier, they go around in circles, you know. Things never really go away. It's just a case of it gets reinvented, you know, and it's usually, I don't know, it's things kind of go underground and they might become popular again, but they never truly go away, you know, because heavy music is always there, you know. It's one shape or form. I think was it Gene Simmons who said rock is dead. That doesn't even mean anything. It's just it's not dead. You know, it's an incredibly popular thing, and it never goes away. You know, it just changes its jacket. You know, that's it.
Absolutely. Now, what are the plans of taking this album live? I'm sure you guys must be super stoked to play these tracks live in front of your fans.
Yeah, I mean, the album was written very much with playing it live in mind. You know, I mean, we can do every song, and it's very much so. Yeah, we have to write songs that we can play live, or it's kind of pointless. So we look forward to doing that. And we kind of rehearsed the other day with the songs, and they're sounding great. So yeah, it's going to be, hopefully people are going to really enjoy this stuff live.
That's awesome. So you know, any festivals coming up, or any European or, you know, American tour ahead?
No, we've got a few bits and pieces in Europe for festivals. Then we've got a big tour at the end of the year. We've got like a long European tour. I mean, as for the States, I mean, you know, we're up into office. We would love to come back to America. Any excuse to come to the States, we're up for it. You know, so fingers crossed we can get on some good support tour or anything. You know, we'll play in the toilets. We're not bothered. It's just, you know, it'd be great to come back there. You know.
That's awesome, Nick. Now, what are the plans of coming to India? I wonder whether you guys got any offers from India.
There was, I think, a few years ago there was something. But it fell through. I know a few of our peers have been. I know Opeth has been there. But yeah, again, yeah, absolutely, we'd love to come over there. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we want to sort of basically play everywhere we haven't played before. Obviously, we've been around a long time, but there's a lot of the world we haven't played. So obviously, there's certain boxes need ticking, and I would say India is definitely one of those. You know.
That's awesome, Nick. Glad to hear that. Now, you know, will fans ever get to see Paradise Lost, Anathema, and My Dying Bride together on, you know, one tour as one package?
I think we did that a few years ago. I think it was the anniversary tour. We did like a few European shows. We didn't do one of any extensive length though. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, Anathema have kind of gone off in a very distant kind of sound to what they used to do. But I mean, you know, it's. I mean, you can never say never. You know, I mean, we know all those guys, and I certainly wouldn't say absolutely not. But maybe one of the guys in Anathema might say that. So I don't know. You know, but I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, that's the best way to look at it. You know.
Absolutely, Nick. Now, before I conclude the interview, how about you define the Plague Within in just one sentence?
The Plague Within is. Oh, now you got me now. You've put me on the spot. I can remember this for the next. Every time someone asks me, I will have the answer now. The Plague Within is the first raindrop on your forehead on a sunny day.
Wow! Now that was amazing. Fantastic, Nick. It was great having you on board. It's always an honor, you know, to see you guys come up with great music, and now with this amazing statement. So, folks, The Plague Within coming out June 1st week via Century Media. Grab the album right away. Pre-order it. It's amazing. It's kick-ass.